Hello everybody, this is Brave Sir Robin coming to you from parts unknown, returning after a pretty long 4-month absence where I haven't been making any new videos. But I've since decided, I've been out of it for a little bit, but I said on my Twitter that once my Facebook group has reached 50 fans, I would start making my videos again, and I actually have surpassed that. I'm up to more than that now, so I decided to make a return with another DVD review, seeing it's been a long time since I did one of them. And the reason I picked the particular DVD that I'm going to review today, for one, it's a PWG show. I reviewed one once. It was Kurt WrestleMania. It was one of my early reviews. I think it was only like my second, and I actually wasn't really happy with it. So I'd like to review some PWG again and do it right, and hopefully this one will be better. And because that was before I knew anything about what little editing I do, and well, it just wasn't a very good video. And also, the one I'm reviewing, it's PWG's DDT4 from this past April. It's a tag team tournament. I figured with all the hype going on now about WWE reviving their tag division, and they recently had their own tag team tournament, I figured I'd do a little comparison to see how it's done right. Not to say that WWE's one was bad. I mean, they worked with what they got, but this one was a bit different, so I figured it might be something to talk about. It's a little pretty much what WWE's could have been if they did have a thriving tag team division, and show you how good a tag team tournament really could be. So this show is from this past April of 2012. It's a one-night tournament. They used to do DDT4, which stands for something, as a multiple night tournament. They decided to do it all in once, so that means there's a lot of matches on this one disc. As you can see, it's only one. And like I said, there's a lot of matches on there. A lot of them feel kind of quick, so I might end up tearing through them pretty fast. So let's pop this in and take a look and give my thoughts on Pro Wrestling Guerrilla DDT4 2012. So here we go. I've got my notes here in front of me, as you can't quite see. They're off screen on my laptop. And the first match of the DVD is the Fightin' Taylor Boys. That's Fightin' with no G, with the apostrophe, against the Rock Ness Monsters of Johnny Yuma and Johnny Goodtime. It's a pretty good opener, as I've noted here. The Fightin' Taylor Boys are Brian Cage Taylor, as he sometimes calls himself, and Ryan Taylor. And he was pretty impressive in this match. He's been getting a big push in PWG since this event, which I think is well deserved. The guy is pretty good. He's really built. He looks like somebody who should be on a WWE show, except he can do some pretty impressive moves too. Like he did a springboard moonsault from where he was tagged in from the outside, jumped to the top rope, jumped up again and turned around, then did a moonsault onto one of the guys. And at another point he was able to do both a double Samoan drop German suplex onto both Yuma and Goodtime when Yuma was on Goodtime's shoulders for some move that they were trying to do. The Taylor Boys are very impressive, but the Rock Ness Monsters win after a combination enziguri and an ace crusher. It was a really good opener, and it was a good fast-paced match with you got the fast, smaller team against the more built power team. So it was pretty good to see that. I thought it was pretty good, and it really got the crowd into the show. So the second match of the first round of the tournament is the Dynasty of Joey Ryan and Scorpio Sky, a.k.a. Mason Andrews, a.k.a. Harold, versus Future Shock, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole, a.k.a. the Jiu-Jitsu Jackoffs. Excalibur and Kevin Steen, they're on commentary, and Excalibur actually asked Steen about who on this team is a Jiu-Jitsu Jackoff, but Steen points out only Davey Richards is a Jiu-Jitsu Jackoff because he is a Jackoff, and starts to tell a story about why, but then he's interrupted for whatever reason. O'Reilly, I like Cole, he's not so bad, he's able to show a bit of personality, and Joey Ryan and Scorpio Sky are pretty good. They can show a bit of personality, but O'Reilly is just bland as white bread. The guy's got no charisma whatsoever, and he relies too much on this fake MMA bullshit that he tries to do throughout the matches, so I'm really not a fan of this team. After a splash from Cole, Steen mentions that, this is one of the notes I got here, not a recap, just notes. There's a splash from Cole, and Steen mentions it's shades of Tamina Snuka, and him and Excalibur start to laugh. Excalibur points out he doesn't even know who Tamina Snuka is, and Steen points out that it's Superfly's daughter, and Excalibur points out, well, I'm sure she got into the WWE on her own merits, which is pretty funny. But it is something to be said where I'm remembering more about what was said on commentary than the actual match. Future Shock wins after a double lariat, total elimination style, into Scorpio Sky. I would have rather seen the Dynasty one. I'm just not a fan of Cole or O'Reilly, though O'Reilly is a bit better than Cole. I just don't like these guys. I don't like the style that they do, and I'm just not into them. I would have rather seen Scorpio Sky and Joey Ryan advance, but it was still a decent enough match. I'm not going to say it was bad or anything. So the next match that's part of round 1 is the team of two husky black guys, El Generico and Willie Mack, versus the team of Sami Callihan and Roderick Strong. The two husky black guys were a substitution for the team of Kevin Steen and Super Dragon, who were supposed to be in this tournament and are the current PWG Tag Team Champions at the time this DVD was made. But Super Dragon was injured and was unable to take part of the tournament. So their name... And also, the name Two Husky Black Guys is a reference to the team of El Generico and Human Tornado, which was called Two Skinny Black Guys. And I think Human Tornado trained Willie Mack too, for that matter, so it's a cool reference. Both teams work really well together, even though none of them have ever teamed before tonight. The Two Husky Black Guys, it was a really hard-hitting match, and they win after an Ace Crusher from Willie Mack and a Brainbuster from Generico onto Roderick. This was a good hard-hitting match, and everyone came out looking pretty good. I do have the question 2 matches, though, ending with the Ace Crusher on the same night, but whatever. So between matches, Sami Callihan is on the mic, and he's announcing that he will be accepting an open challenge from Kevin Steen for the PWG title tonight. So there we go. There's a world title match, or if you want to call it a world title, there's a title match set tonight between the two. So the final first round match now is the Young Bucks, which I've talked about numerous times. You know who the Young Bucks are, versus the Super Smash Brothers, Player Uno and Stupefied. And the Young Bucks are being their usual shithead selves, but the crowd is really behind the Super Smash Brothers, of course. The Young Bucks do seem to be the favorites to win because they've won several DDT4s before, but the crowd is shocked when Stupefied is saved after a double tombstone piledriver by the two Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks do keep trying to do everything they can to put them away. They do attempt the more bang for your buck, which is the Finley roll into a moonsault followed by a 450 splash, but Stupefied holds on, and after the Finley roll gets a quick roll-up with a crucifix pin to get the upset win. I think this was one of the better matches of the 2 rounds. It was cool to see the underdog Super Smash Brothers pull out the win here. Now we're on to the second round of this tournament. We have the Rock Nest Monsters versus the two husky black guys. They had a brief intermission at the live event, but not on the DVD obviously. But the Rock Nest Monsters do look a bit tired and fatigued, which is to be expected, of course. They are the better high flyers, but Willie Mack can do some impressive high aerial moves as well. So it is pretty cool to see. They try to do the same formula they did earlier when they were fighting the Taylor Boys, but the two husky black guys end up being too much for them. And the match comes to an end when Willie Mack just destroys Johnny Yuma with a sick-looking Michinoku driver, and the two husky black guys advance to the finals. It was a really good match. It was a bit quick, but that's to be expected, seeing that it was a middle of a tournament, so they just got it out of the way fast. And now this next second round match is Future Shock versus the Super Smash Brothers. It's another good match, and the Super Smash Brothers are the underdogs here because the Future Shock is one of those flavor of the month teams that everyone seems to think will win. I'm not even a fan of Future Shock, but I did enjoy this match. It was pretty good. So many times it looked like the Super Smash Brothers should be done, but they're able to keep making like a miracle save or a miracle comeback to kick out and keep the match going. Super Smash Brothers do win with a move that is a combination of the Gory Bomb and a buff blockbuster, a move that they call the Fatality. I thought this was a pretty good match, especially seeing one of the teams I don't even like, so I was pretty impressed with this. It was really good, and now the Super Smash Brothers now go on to the finals to face the two husky black guys. So now on to the only singles match of this DVD. We have Kevin Steen, the PWG champion at the time, well he still is now for that matter, fighting Sami Callihan, who on this DVD is making his PWG debut. The two guys, these are very good, excellent brawlers here. Both Steen and Callihan can put on an excellent brawl. Seeing he has already wrestled once tonight, Callihan still does a good job. He doesn't look like he's really worn out or anything, so I guess conditioning is something that he is really good at. And it's already a star-making performance, seeing this is his first time on a show. He takes a serious beating from Steen. Steen dominates for the most part, but Callihan is able to pull out some impressive stuff, and including when Steen a couple times power bombs him on the outside into the ring apron, which looks pretty impressive. He does it multiple times to him too, so it looks pretty sick. And Steen eventually wins with the package pile driver. And then after the match, Steen gets on the mic and praises up Sami Callihan. It was a good match, especially seeing this was Sami Callihan's first PWG show, so it made sense for him not to win the title, but he ended up having a good tag match and a good singles match against the champion, so obviously they've created a new star here, and you can't go wrong by doing that. So now for the finals of this tag team tournament, we have the two husky black guys versus the Super Smash Brothers. Fatigue is shown a bit, but it doesn't really take away from the match. All these guys are pretty good at wrestling multiple times, especially Generico. It's not the first time he's done this on a PWG show. It's another star-making performance, this time for the Super Smash Brothers, and even Willie Mack for that matter. I'd say for Generico too, but he's already a multiple-time PWG champion, so he's already a star. So Super Smash Brothers, it's a really good match. It was really back and forth. They win with the fatality onto El Generico. And after the match, both teams are attacked by the Young Bucks, which I thought was really unnecessary. And Kevin Steen makes the save. And then after the Young Bucks are chased off, he gets on the mic and he puts over everybody who was involved in this match for putting on a hell of a show. Which they did. And, well, the only person he doesn't put over is El Generico, because he still hates him. So there was my DVD review of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's DDT4. And if you like this DVD, it is really good. I recommend checking it out. You can buy from High Spots or from ProWrestlingGuerrilla.com and see a really good tag team title tournament that happens over one night. So if you did like this review, make sure you follow up. Go to my Facebook and like it. You can follow me on Twitter. And also feel free to leave a comment or give a thumbs up below on my YouTube channel. It would be really appreciated. One of the main reasons I ended up taking a 4-month break was due to a lack of motivation, due to not getting any feedback. But to be honest, if nobody says anything, I'm taking that as a sign you're doing something right, because it seems like people only comment when they think you're doing something wrong, so whatever. But anyway, I do appreciate the feedback. I like talking to wrestling fans. I do like getting to know other wrestling fans and talking to what they like. I mean, I always reply to stuff. I try to anyway, as long as it gives me something. So it would be greatly appreciated if some people did, let me know what they thought and, keep some discussion going. And maybe if you saw this DVD, give your opinion on it. I'd like to know what other people thought about it, what match they thought was the best, and all that stuff too. So, till next time, it hopefully won't be another 4 months until I do this again. This is Brave Sir Robin signing off, and I'll see you next time.